And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall be suddenly be found empty. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, salutations to the hopeful elect that's fighting a good fight of faith and truth, in sincerity and wholeheartedly. Shalom to the Akwath, which is the women believer. Shalom to you. All praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. So, you know, the stage is being set for perplexity. All right. Domino effect that people do not consider. All of these things that's happening in the earth is leading to, as the scripture we just read. All right. So suddenly, that's unexpectedly, one day, you're going to be watching the news, or you might just walk into a store and be like, damn, what the hell? You might have one little measly bread on the shelf, and then you're going to lock eyes. You're going to lock eyes with another person, and then they're going to race. All right. Then you're going to see people fighting over a loaf of bread. But, in all seriousness, though, the thing that is going on, like everything, the stage is being set. So we're going to watch a couple videos, get a couple scriptures, Lord willing, to be edifying. But you need to know what time we are in.
When do storage tanks run empty?
You're parts of the world, like Australia, Philippines, Thailand, you are. But the question is when and where. I still say that with you, it's going to be, sometime in the month of May that you're going to end up with Europe hitting tank bottoms. And in the U.S., it's somewhere in that July 4th time period. If not sooner, by the way.
Now, I love that he said July 4th. You see how the Lord, that's a bad man. You see how the Lord, you see what he does? How ironic out of all the dates. He said that you're going to see storage tank bottoms by July 4th. Now, if you know, that is the 250th year of this so-called, America, this kingdom. Okay. And if you know the history, they even say that the lifespan of a kingdom is 250 years. Now, remember when Trump got into office, he was talking about throwing a party on the 250th year. Now, he might still throw that party because remember, the elites want this shit to crash. That could bring, people down to their knees and make it easier for people to comply with the hell they're going to bring. But I just think that it's funny that the same day, let's go back.
It's somewhere in that July 4th time, tank bottoms, and in the U.S., it's somewhere in that July 4th time period. If not sooner, by the way, the inventories number coming out of the U.S., the ones we got last night, the ones last week, I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, so the crash is coming. It's inevitable. This is why, the Lord have the spirit on me to say this every video. Seek ye out the Lord while he may be found. All right. So I want to read this real quick. Isaiah 24:7. It said, the new wine mourneth, the vine language, all the merry hearted do sigh. So this is the time that we are approaching. Okay. So the reason I start off with 7, I usually start off with 5, but I want to start off with this because the new system that they're trying to bring forth, that's the new wine. The new system that they're trying to bring forth is going to make a lot of people that are merry hearted sigh. The mirth of the tabret ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoice endeth, the joy of the harp ceaseth. They shall not drink wine with a song. Strong drink shall be better to them that drink it. So that means that everything that you're going to do, it's going to be bad. It's going to be, listen, people do not understand the implications that is happening over there in Iran. They're already shrinking up everything over there in the Middle East. They're going through it. Only people who really ain't affected is like Russia and China. Why? Because they're very important in prophecy, especially Russia. When you start to see Russia get involved in Ishmael, which is so-called Arabs, all right? Right now, the East Indians, which are called Elam in the scriptures, which are Iran, India, Afghanistan, Pakistan, all the stands. All right, that's them. Okay. Right now, it's just, the people who call themselves us, the JEWS, the Israelis, all right, in America, and Elam right now. But when you start to see other parties get involved, that's World War III. And like we've been telling you, the mark of the beast got to come first. So how close are we to that? While this man is talking about basically the economy is tanking. Yeah, this is where the world is going.
And I think that it's important to remember that these inventory numbers, let's define terms, a deficit versus a shortage. We have a deficit today, meaning that demand is above supply and we're drawing inventories. It's not a shortage yet. So to answer your question, you have the shortages in places like, Asia, and it's not that bad yet because you're not completely at tank bottoms. But in places like Europe and the United States, you're in a deficit and you don't hit the shortages until you hit tank bottom.
And he said that's where America is approaching. All right. So the demand, as he said, is very high, but the supply is low. And shrinkflation comes before inflation. That's why you paying, and I'm doing better, but I have a chip addiction. All right. My favorite snack is chips, right? But what make me not buy chips as much is that they be ripping you off. Shit. You know what I'm saying? You still paying the same price for half of the chip count. So let's continue with the other video.
It is a series of dominoes that are falling here. And so jet is the first one to go. Asia is the first region, but it's going to spread across the globe. Just in the last couple of weeks, we've seen 12,000 flights being cancelled. That's 2 million seats. That is just for May.
Do you think that we will see more seat cancellations based on this shortage of jet fuel? I mean, will it get much worse the longer the strait is closed?
Yeah, absolutely.
People are forgetting or not seeing yet, which is one of the most important elements, is a crisis which is emerging around access to fertilizer. You've got the combination of a price shock and a supply shock, which is about to create a huge cataclysmic problem.
So the farmers are already going through it. They've been going through it for a while, but now it's getting worse. All right. Like I said, people over there in Europe, Asia, in that eastern hemisphere, we in the northwestern hemisphere, but over there in the eastern hemisphere, all right, where everything is going down, as you see, the world leaders, they are choking that side of the world. Because remember, they're trying to bring all the world into taking the mark of the beast, crashing their economy, making it easier for people to comply. All right. So that's why the Lord said he calls of all. And also he said the temptation that should come upon all the world. So anyway, so right now, that's the Lord doing. He's saving the best for last. But the point is that all these things is happening. And, when he said that, this is what came to mind. Because this actually happened in 70 AD. Because this man, all he doing, he is squeezing the vice grips. For the day shall come upon thee that your enemy shall cast a trench about thee. Like, this is literally what happened. Okay? They shut us in that we couldn't go out. No food could come in. Cannibalism. All right? Eating leaves off of trees. Eating leather belts. Find this information in Josephus. All right? And this is what happened in 70 AD. And the Lord said it's even going to be worse. Elder Ariala in Dallas, he said something. I was doing something while I was listening to a video, but I think I caught what I needed to catch. But he basically just talking about how our communities and where it's surrounded, surrounded by highways, and also the type of food that come in. So in our communities, which are, poverty, low class. And you think food, if it become a shortage of food, you think they're going to be sending it to those places? No. So, and it says, into capacity round about and keep you on every side. And it says, and they shall lay thee even with the ground, and your children within thee. They shall not leave in thee one stone upon another. So in today's term, destroying your houses. Okay. Because, back then, this is in the time of Jerusalem, we had a temple. The temple got destroyed. All right. Because you knew it's not the time of your visitation. So this is what we're trying to tell you when we show you these videos, when we show you what's going on in the world. Suddenly shall the sown places, the food storehouses shall be suddenly found empty. All right.
Supply shock, which is about to create a huge cataclysmic problem in the real economy, but in particular on food.
20% of the world's energy supply flows through the Strait of Hormuz. That's oil, that's liquefied natural gas, it's refined products, goes to Europe and Asia primarily, and both of those regions are seeing the impact of having that much cut off. The U.S. can't make up all of that supply. Inventories in the system are being drawn down, and the supply situation is tightening, and that's a concern.
These are the so-called experts of today's economy. All right. We know prophecy. They know the ins and out, and we are able to filter it through the prophecy. Okay. So I'm going to believe what they're saying. Also, it's very easy to see. That's why the Lord said, blessed are your eyes that they see. So that's why I want to title this video Domino Effect. Everything that's happening is a domino effect.
Good evening, I'm Whit Johnson. David Muir is on his way to China for President Trump's summit with President Xi. But we begin here tonight with breaking news. The war in Iran having a major impact on the U.S. economy and your money. The war in Iran pushing costs higher. The Labor Department's Consumer Price Index rising 3.8% over last year. Americans paying even more for gas. The national average hovering around $4.50 per gallon. The cost expected to keep rising towards Memorial Day.
And we all feeling it. But you want to know the difference that we have compared to the others? We understand, because the Lord said that you should know the truth should make you free. We're free mentally. See, when your whole hope is in this world, you're banking on the world to go in a prosperous way, to, be good unto you. When you have understanding, we understand that this is leading to the end of our enemy's kingdom and the erection of our kingdom. So we love it. We are rejoicing at these things while the world is mourning at these things. And then when it really break down and collapse, the Lord said he got us in these times. So when I go to the store, whatever I buy, I'm paying the same price as everybody else. But as the scripture says, be content. And I'm very content because I understand what the Lord is doing. While everybody else is like, oh my God, this is crazy. The men and women who the Lord is dealing with, we good. The Lord, he said he's going to give us our daily bread. This ain't the time to be trying to, basically do whatever you gotta do to try to be prosperous. We ain't in that time. Why are you trying to, you still got people, hey dog, I'm about to go get my LLC. I'm about to go start this driving business. Well, you about to get a chip, okay? That's what you about to get. The economy is crashing. Prices going up, but your wages not going up. No new jobs is being created. Jobs is being lost. People being fired. This is the time that we're heading into.
And some groceries now hitting record prices. The cost of ground beef at an all-time high. Tomatoes up 40% over last year.
Remember Billy G talking about doing away with meat? If you should know who Billy G is, okay? Gates, how about that? Remember he talking about doing away with meat because of too much carbon emission and insects. making you eat insects.
President Trump, who campaigned on lowering prices, what he's now saying about Americans and their financial situation. ABC's chief business correspondent, Rebecca Jarvis, leads us off.
Tonight, from skyrocketing prices at the pump to all-time highs for beef, families are feeling the pain from the biggest jump in the cost of living in 3 years. The U.S. government says prices in April jumped 3.8% compared to last year. Energy prices in the wake of the Iran war fueling the surge. Gas up 28.4% year over year. The national average for regular now $4.49 a gallon. For diesel, $5.63 a gallon.
To fill that fuel tank right there on this Kenworth, it would cost, that's 100 gallons, so it'd cost me about $710.
Trucker Kyle Cameron says before the war broke out, that same fill-up would have...
So imagine how much these semi-trucks have to pay. And remember, they are the ones who brings the goods to the store. So that can stop at any time. And they said that only a grocery store only have 3 days worth of food. So if that truck don't come in that third day, that's a famine. There's no food. Do any of us got farms? Do any of us got, a garden in their backyard? No. Okay. So suddenly shall the food store houses be found empty.
Cost him about $465.
Diesel prices impact shipping all across the country, and that's one of the reasons that grocery prices jumped such a large rate month over month.
Beef at an all-time high, up 14.9%. Ground beef now more than $7 a pound. Tomatoes up 50%. Coffee up nearly 30%. Our Alex Perez met Chicago shoppers feeling the pain.
I could buy milk for $1.99 a couple 3 weeks ago, $2.29 now.
Airline fares are up more than 20%. By one estimate, the American household is spending $642 more per month for the same stuff as they did 3 years ago. And for the first time in 3 years, wages aren't rising faster than inflation.
Inflation at 3.8%, wage gains at 3.6% in the past year. And that's why people are really feeling pinched and that they have...
And when I be reading the comments, not on this video, but when I read the comments on these type of videos, people are really like, shit, I be having to make life decisions. Do I get gas today or do I eat today? So you got a lot of people feeling it. And then, like the scripture says in 2nd Ezra 15, 14 through 17, verse 14 say, "Woe to the world, them that dwell therein." 15 said, "For there should be sedition among men, people fighting with swords in their hand." All right, dare not regard their kings and princes, and the actions shall stand in their power. 16, goes into dang, I gotta get it now. I thought I could do it without getting it. Dang, what is the 16th one? I know 17 is man should desire to go into a city should not be able. Maybe I blended 15 and 16 together. Where you at? I thought the Apocrypha. I was just reading the Apocrypha. What the heck? Let me see. Where you at? Hey. Didn't I just read? I started off with the Apocrypha. What the hell? Let me see if I can go back. Let me see if I go back. All right, go back. Go back. Go back. Go back. Yeah, there we go. I was just in here, so why I can't go? Anyways, whatever. I think I blended 15 and 16 together. So this is going to cause people to uprise, which is sedition. Oh yeah, so I did 15 and 16 together. But yeah, so that's what's going to happen. And the Lord is bringing this, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the house shall be destroyed, men shall be afraid, men shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but should destroy their houses with the sword. Why? Spoil their bread, spoil their goods, because of lack of bread and great tribulation. So, there's no love in the world right now. Because iniquity is abounding. Sin. All right. This devil is causing nothing but harm and hell everywhere he go.
To stretch every dollar.
President Trump rejecting the idea that the pain Americans are feeling from inflation will influence his negotiations with Iran.
The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about American financial situation. I don't think about anybody.
He don't give a damn. He don't give a damn, as he said.
And Whit, a new poll shows that 75% of Americans say the war with Iran has had a negative effect on their financial situation. But it's not just energy-related categories. Housing costs, those prices are up 3.3% from a...
So what is the conclusion of all of this? That's why the scripture said where there is no vision, the people perish. All right? If you love this world, you are an enemy to the Lord. And he said those who do the will of the Lord shall abide forever. So I got one more for comedy relief. This is funny. This, I told you, he's the funniest man on the earth, Donald Trump, man. Love him.
Year ago.
You wanted Jerome Powell fired for cost overruns. How's that different than your ballroom and their...
So what happened is we have a ballroom that's under budget. It's going up right here. I've doubled the size of it because we obviously need that. And we're right now on budget, under budget, and ahead of schedule.
The price has doubled.
I doubled the size of it, you dumb person. Double the size.
What about
You are not a smart person.
What about the...
This dude is so funny. First of all, the American people is going through shits, right? The ballroom is already 250 million. He said he's going to double the size. That's 500 million. So basically, he's trying to add on to the White House, make a little party room for him and his fellows while America starve. So this is your president. This who you voted for. I love him. He's bringing in the end. And all you people who voted for him, this is what y'all asses get. But the ending on this though. Because the Lord promised us this. When these things come. So it said, Therefore thus saith Yahweh Bashmal Shai, behold, my servant shall eat, but you shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but you shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but you shall be ashamed. And guess what? Behold, my servant shall sing of joy of heart. So imagine that when all hell breaking loose, we're going to be in the spirit. All praises to Yahweh Bashmal Shai, Lord willing, we part of the elect. But you shall cry for sorrow of heart and shall howl for vexation of spirit. So that's going to be everybody else that's on the outside of this thing. So seek ye out the Lord while he may be found, and shalom.